Welcome to Module 1, Lesson 14. Today we're going to be using our place value chart to pictorially see what's happening when we divide a decimal number by a whole number. And so I am starting down here with my problem. I have 4 and 236 thousandths divided by 3. So I'm going to start out by just filling in my chart with place value dis to show the number. So you can see here I have 4 ones. So I'm going to write in 4 dots in my ones place. I have 2 tenths. So I'm going to write 2 tenths. I have 3 hundredths. So I'm going to write in my 3 hundredths. And finally I have 6 thousandths. So I'm going to write those in like so. Now what I want to do is I want to divide all of that into 3 piles. So I created 3 rows here to evenly distribute these this value here. So if I start with my ones place, I have enough place value discs in here to put one of these ones in each of these to divide at, putting one in each. That's going to take away 3 of them. And so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go to 1 here, and 1 here, and 1 here. And when I do that, I'm actually going to have this here left over. So I'm going to move it over here. And of course, 1, 1 is equal to 10 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so now, in the tenths place, I have 12 tenths there. Well, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I could evenly distribute 4 in each of these rows. And I've taken care of all of the tenths. There's none left over, so none of them are going to be carried over. When I come to the hundredths place, I have 3 hundredths, and if I put those into 3 piles, that would give me 1 in each. And if I come over to the thousandths place, I have 6, and 6 divided by 3 is 2, so I'm going to get 2 thousandths in my piles. So I have distributed this original number into 3 equal piles, and I get my answer. Each pile is going to have 1 whole, 4 tenths, 1 hundredth, and 2 thousandths. And so that's my answer. Now I want you to keep this place value chart in mind when we go to look at the standard algorithm. Okay, so I've moved my chart over here so we can still refer to it, and I've written the division problem in a way that should look familiar to you. I have my dividend here 4 and 236 thousandths, and I have my divisor 3. And the first thing I want to do is go ahead and write my decimal point, so I keep my quotient, my digits in the right place in the quotient. And so just like I did over here, I'm going to look to see how many, if I take the 4 ones and divide it into 3 piles, how many would be in each pile. And 3 goes into 4 one time. And that takes 3 of them. And I still have 1 left over, which over here was my 1 that was left over, and I moved it to the tenths place. Watch what happens here when I bring down my 2 like we've always taught. Now what I really have here is 12 tenths. And I'm going to say, well, let's see, if I take 12 tenths and divide it into 3 piles, I get 4 tenths. Well, look at this. My 4 is in the tenths place. There's 4 tenths, and that's going to give me a total of 12. I'm going to use up all 12 tenths. Then I'm going to have my 3 hundredths, just like I had over here. And if I take 300ths and divide it into 3 piles, I get 1/100th in each. If I take 300ths and divide it by 3, I'm going to get 1 in each pile, and that's 3. And if I subtract, I have none left over, which is exactly what happened in my model. And so now I'm looking at my 6,000ths, just like I was looking at 6,000ths over here, and I want to divide into 3 piles. So if I take 6,000ths and divide it by 3, then I'm going to get 2,000ths. And look where that 2 is, right in the thousandths place. And I'm left with nothing. And so you can see that the standard algorithm corresponds directly to place value, and that's why it works. And that is all there is to today's lesson.